All right, what's up, guys? tmanplays here with another Warno video for you today, and we're going to be going over the CLCA division, the other division that's was announced in the Eugen dev blog today. Free DLC, don't have to pay for it. Let's see what you get. So we start off with two cards of supply for the 40,000 supply truck here. Not too bad. We pay 20 points more. We get a slightly bigger truck with 1,000 more supply. Got a standard armored command vehicle here for 55 points. Single card of the three M38s. A little bit faster of a command unit here. 3 availability, pretty nice. And then a armored command unit as well. If you want something with a weapon on it that can defend itself, this one can too. Just slightly faster here with the speed. This one has more side armor. Get a fob as well. If we go to the infantry tab, we got an M48-1. We get a Dragon 1 squad, the little two-man team. We've seen this in Embad. Don't really use it. It also comes at like a really high vet in Embad, I'm pretty sure. I think it comes like standard at 2 vet. Maybe not. The accuracy is a lot higher compared to a standard Dragon 1 team, though. But the 2 strength, I feel like, really holds it back. Maybe it's useful. Who knows? Haven't really used it. Standard card of Ito here. 762 squad. We get a command / military police unit here. Has some AT capability, only 4 strength. Can also bring it in a military police vehicle. Another military police unit without the AT. Not a command either. So this is just like your standard military police. Can come in that same vehicle as well, or just a standard transport. And then we got a 12 strength military police unit. If you want more HP, want to keep it around to buff all your infantry, maybe this is the way to go. It doesn't have AT, only close weaponry, so you got to keep this close for engagements. Comes in a nice little military police vehicle as well. Pretty cool. Another command unit here, 7 strength, has some AT capability. Not the best AT, but at least has that capability. We get your first card of reservist, 9 strength, 2 Uzis, 6 Garands, an L4A4. Not a terrible squad. The 9 strength is nice. 30 points is decent, but the good thing about these guys is they have this security trait, so they get pretty decent optics when they're stood still, just kind of holding the line. Then we get basically the non-reservist version of these guys. So, plenty of machine guns there. Not a bad loadout, 10 strength. And then the reservist guys we've seen before. They at least have some AT capability, 9 strength. They do cost 5 more points over these, though, which personally I prefer the Natras over just having the security trait. We got a satchel unit, 8 strength, the militia trait, the shock trait, and the reservist trait. So yeah, these guys are going to get routed probably fairly quickly. Something to keep a note of. Tank Jaegers, nice having a double Carl Gustav. It does have good range. 5 strength, not great, but they're only 30 points. You can get them in a little decent transport here. So not a terrible squad. Get another command infantry unit here. This one at least has smoke. Does use the Dragon 1 though. I've seen this unit before in 4E. It's the Law. The standard Carl Gustav infantry that we've seen in 4E. Does come in the can come in the armored transport with smoke, which is pretty nice. And then we've seen this one as well with the Dragon 1. Also can come in that same transport. Got a card of M40s, little Jeeps here. So you want to be sneaky. Another card of Command Infantry. This one's the best one in my opinion because of the 10 strength. You also get the smoke and the AT capability, even though it's only a law. But the 10 strength is really nice for the Command Infantry, and you can get in a nice transport as well with smoke, help keep it alive. Pretty decent little infantry squad here because they have the 2 machine guns, the law 7 strength, 9 strength, and yeah, 50 points. And then the upgraded version with the Carl Gustav, if we want to compare it kind of the counterpart, you can see basically you're just paying for that extra strength, the 9 strength instead of the 7. So helps you kind of establish that front line a little bit better. And you're also paying for kind of the speed of your transport here, even though it's not much. It's only 80 and 70 compared to 75 and 60. So you're just slightly faster. And then we get a nice command unit here. This one's pretty good as well compared to the other one because it is Special Forces, Shock, and Security. So good command unit. It's just you're paying 10 more points. You do have 6 Uzis, so you do got to get close. But if you want to use it more as like an attacking CV, the Commando CV is going to be the way to go. Whereas if you just kind of want something with strength, sit at the back, maybe buff your units, but not really get into combat, I'd go with the 10 strength one. And then the nicest infantry that you have, these nice commandos. Sadly, they only have a law, no Carl Gustav or anything, but they do have pretty good weaponry here to deal with any type of situation they find themselves in. You get 2 cards of this as well. Special Forces, Shock, Security, so you get better optics, and they're 11 strength, which is really nice. So a big, beefy squad there. Moving on to the artillery tab, we got some 107mm mortars, some 105s, some 155s. Pretty slow reload time on those compared to others in the game. But you can outfit them, make it a little bit better. We get the M110s, really nice artillery piece, so this division is not lacking good artillery. And you also get a nice cluster MLRS. You can actually get 2 of them. So there you go. You're not going to be lacking in artillery with the M110s and the cluster. You can also get some mortars if you need them. In terms of tanks, you do get, we'll start from the bottom this time. You do get a card of Leopard 2A4. It's not the one with the 18 front armor, so this will get one shot by basically any AT plane with 30 AP or 30 pen. So you do got to be a little careful there. If you outfit it, you only get 2. So maybe you take this unvetted just to have 4 heavy tanks. Could help swing things in your favor. Get a card of Leopard 1Vs. Nice pen on these guys. Decent range. And then you get a command card of them as well. Get a card of Centurion Mark 5s. Does have smoke. Pretty slow off-road there, so maybe you want to keep this one near the road. But having smoke is nice, has decent range. Not a terrible gun. It is only 75 points. It has a good amount of armor. It is what it is. You get a card of tow jeeps. Sadly, these only have 16 pen, so they're not really going to help you too much against like IFEs because you'll need 2 hits. So that's a little rough. You do get the PWAT. Pretty cool little anti-tank vehicle here. Does get the better ITO with the 20 pen, good accuracy. Nice having the machine gun there. Decently speeded. Good that it's armored. So not a bad little anti-tank weapon, and then the Pratt, which you've seen before. In terms of recon, you have 2 recon helicopters to choose from. We have the Alouette, and then we have the Bo 105 with a minigun on it. See, both of them are very good optics, 4 strength, so basically you're just deciding, do I want to pay 15 points for a minigun, more autonomy, and slightly better speed? Gets a nice exceptional optics recon unit here with smoke. The M113 CNV, sadly this one doesn't have the autocannon on top. It only has the 50 cal. But not a terrible little recon vehicle. It's also a military police vehicle, which is why it has this kind of blue camouflage. So pretty cool. You can use this to kind of buff your reservist units as well. You have the Verkeners, standard 4-man team recon squad here. You can also bring them in Alouettes if you want to transport them through the air. Then we have 8 strength Panzer Verkeners with the Carl Gustav, pretty decent recon team here. And get them in a armored transport if you want as well, which has smoke. And then we have the autocannon version of the M113 CNV, which we already know how good this is, so definitely bring this. In terms of AA, we have some okay stuff here. We have the Maxim. Can be brought in a fast transport, quad 50 cal, decent. We got a Bofors gun. We got plenty of Stingers, which are always nice to have. We get a card of OH-58s, which I've recently kind of started to really like, pairing them with a decent helicopter. And yeah, these are pretty good at catching out a opponent. And then you get cards of IHawks as well, so you're protected from those AT planes that are going to be going after your 4 Leopard 2A force here. Really got to protect those, so make sure you get the IHawks up before you bring them out. In terms of helicopters, your OH-58s don't really have too much to protect here. We get 1 card of BO-105s. Decent little anti-tank helicopter, and then you get 2 cards of Cobras. Not a tow Cobra or anything though, just hogs. So all these are really for your anti-infantry and light transports. Slots are pretty expensive here too, so maybe you do that. Maybe you bring 1 of each. Maybe you bring 1. Who knows? In terms of the air tab, we have a nice little heavy bomb HE plane, which we've seen in 4E. Pretty decent little plane. Have the napalm version of it. Have the cluster version of it. It is 10 strength, so it will survive like a coup shot. Get a card of Phantom AAs, which, while we're here, if we look at the Sparrow, you'll notice that the range has changed. The Sparrows now have the max range missile, max missile range in the game. So it's similar to the Soviets. They can now adequately engage each other. So yeah, this is a buff to all the divisions that get the Phantoms. Your Eagle with the Sparrows also got buffed. So nice buff here to the Sparrow. Pretty good little plane now. Get a Weasel Seed. 2 cards of your F-16A AA2s, which is nice because he's supposed to have 3 sets of close air-to-air missiles. Good accuracy on those. Nice HE. And then we get the really good cluster plane that comes in 9th US as well. It's a really good cluster plane. Does take a little bit to reload, but this will pretty much wipe out anything in its path. So if you're against a heavy tank or a blobber, make sure to have this because it'll come in use. But yeah, just going through it all, we got a okay plane tab here. You got some nice bombers, cluster planes, a nice long range AA plane, as well as some shotgun fighters for anti-helo, a good anti-blob tool. Don't really know if I'd ring in the seed just because, um, what do you really need it for to protect this? In terms of helicopters, you have the ATGM one. Um, the Cobra is still nice dealing with infantry and light transports. We have good AA because of the IHawks, so you're protected from planes. Your recon tab is pretty decent because of the M113 here. Tank tab is nice because you get access to the heavy tanks while still having light tanks, and then decent pen as well, so you're not really going to be struggling against heavy armor, especially when you factor in the artillery that you get. And then your infantry, while having access to a lot of different reservists, you also have access to a lot of good standard squads with pretty good availability here. And then your commandos are kind of your bread and butter with the 11 strength, 2 cards of these guys. You're going to be able to hold ground pretty well. They aren't forward deployable, so it's not like you can get to areas faster than your opponent. You still got to fight your way in, but the commandos are going to make that a lot easier. And then a decent logistics tab as well. So yeah, I really like this division. I think this division is going to be pretty solid. We'll see how it plays out when it actually comes out. But I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys like this division preview, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.